Well, scratch-built overtypes seem to be a bit of a theme at the moment. This is another one that I spotted on eBay and found very intriguing. It's a very unusual design. And I thought, right, well, I'll have a bid on that. I was lucky enough to win the auction. And here it is. Now, this is a little bit of a different deal to the last scratch-built overtype. This is massive. I mean, there's my hand. There's a 3-inch diameter boiler. I'm not sure whether it's copper or brass. We'll find that out when we clean it up. It's huge. I never really got an impression of the size from the pictures on the eBay listing. So this was quite a bit of a surprise when it showed up. It's quite large. But yeah, it's an awesome engine. It seems to be quite well made. Let's stop it there and I'll pull the burner out. You can have a look at that because this is a thing in itself. Look at that. I mean, that's awesome, isn't it? God knows how much meth that reservoir holds, but yeah, that's a thing and a half, isn't it? But like I said, it does seem to be pretty well made. It all turns, it's all free, and there's no play in the crankshaft at all. It's got a double acting piston. I have no idea what the bore is. I can work out the stroke easy enough. Stroke probably looks to be about 1/2 inch. But yeah, it's all there. Everything is free. I've checked the safety valve. That's the ball and spring type, and that's working. The level plug is all free. It looks to be quite nicely constructed from the point of view of removal of all of this. Basically, this union here undoes that disconnects the exhaust pipe from the chimney. There is a nut here, and there is a nut, you can't quite see it, on the other side here. Once those are done, if you unsolder the steam pipe, then that whole assembly will lift off of the boiler, which is obviously what I'll do when I come to clean it up. But this is really just a first look at this. And yeah, it's an impressive beast, and I'd imagine produces a considerable amount of steam. The base is aluminium. I think the firebox is also aluminium. Not sure about the chimney mount here. This might possibly be steel, as it's very rusty, but we'll have that all apart and have a look at it. So there you go, that's first look. I don't normally film the strip down of model steam engines that I'm going to restore, but I thought with this one, because it's a scratch built, so it's all unknown to me, I thought, well, you know, maybe you'd be interested to see how I go about it. It's nothing very technical or difficult, but yeah, I mean, we're just going to take it apart. So first of all, let's remove this absolutely massive, I mean, look at the size of that, really. Something else, isn't it, that burner? Look at it. Huge. Lovely bit of kit. So we'll yeah, that'll be nice and easy to clean up though. That's one good thing. Looks like someone's put new wicks in it, which is good. I always remove the easy bits first. So we'll take the safety valve out. Always have a nice pot or something to put your parts in. Very useful. Next we'll disconnect the chimney. Well, that's already loose anyway. There we go. And I think that was obviously fitted, that was obviously possibly screwed or attached to this at some point in its life. Or maybe it's not, maybe the holes are simply just for condensate drain, I'm not sure. But again, this will clean up real easy. Okay, flywheel I think next. Turn it round. And there is a nice little Allen screw on the flywheel. There we go. So that's all very easy to take off. Pleased about that. We have a washer. Excellent. And there's absolutely no play in this crankshaft. That, I mean, it has been, no doubt, it has been well made. So turn it around again. Just whip off the crank pin. There we go. And then we'll remove the nut which is holding the spring in tension, which holds the whole cylinder assembly. My hands are going to get in the way here. in place. This is normally the point at which you fumble the nut and the spring flies across the workshop. We'll try not to do that. Try not to do that today. There we go. Oh. And there's the cylinder assembly. So far so good. Now, in order to get the rest of the motion off, we should be able to take the crankshaft out. Yes, it's a bit rusty in the middle. Come on, you can do it. There we go. Yes, so in order to get the rest of this off, there is a nut under here on this little bracket which has been soldered onto the boiler, and then there is this nut here, and that's what holds this whole engine assembly onto the boiler. But obviously, of course, it won't come off because we're going to have to unsolder some of this pipework, and the easiest place to do it is at the steam dome here. So we'll take these two nuts off first. So it's all brass, this, so it's just lovely to work on. You know, there's no corrosion or anything that makes it difficult. And I would imagine this thing is quite old. Obviously I've got no idea of a date on it, but I would have thought it was quite old. Mucky threads. There we go. Right, now this is now loose. So the only thing now that's holding it in place is the pipework, the solder pipework. So we're going to get a gas torch on there and see if we can lift that off of the steam dome. Now, given how well this has been constructed, I would imagine this is almost certainly silver solder, so we're going to need a bit of heat there. There we go. Actually, that didn't require a lot, so it may well be it's a plumber's solder that was used, which is considerably lower melting point, but more than adequate for the temperature that the boiler is going to get to. So that was very easy. So now we've got the engine assembly off. There you go. That can be easily cleaned up. So the next stage is to get the boiler off of the firebox and then the firebox off of the base. Slight change of plan. I think I'm going to take the whole firebox off of the base first. The reason being then I can get to, if there's any, I can't see whether there are any nuts underneath these screws, but once I've got the firebox off of the base I can, and it's easy enough to get to these nuts here which are holding the firebox to the base. Very fortunate the guys used all BA screws, which always makes life easy. If you're messing around with model steam engines, particularly British ones, it always pays to have plenty of BA spanners. And I've got loads of them. You can never have too many. Right, so that's the base off. So let's take the screws out, holding that in place. Looks like the firebox has had been different colours at different times. Well, again, I don't know how well you can see in there, but it doesn't look like there's any nuts on those screws, so they should just unscrew with a bit of luck. Right, let's get an appropriate screwdriver and get going. Well, it's always a testament to how well somebody has made something as to how well it comes apart. And I have to say that whoever did this definitely knew what they were doing. You know, these screws weren't really tight, and you know, they're coming out with this quite small screwdriver nice and easily. Nice copper boiler bands. Yeah, this was a nice piece of work. This, I'm well impressed with it. And there we go. Certainly has seen a bit of use, isn't it? Yes, I think the old boilers are going to get the vinegar bath, no doubt about that. And that will help clean up any crud that's on the inside too. So, and that's definitely going to get a complete strip. This bit on the front, I think this is possibly separate. Looks like it might have been riveted on. I'll have to take a closer look at that. Anyway, there you go. That's the nice large Overtype scratch built engine stripped down, ready for cleanup.